I'm not the one.
Sorry, kid.
Well, I guess not then. That was easy. Before Keanu Reeves was asked to play the role of Neo, Will Smith was asked, and he turned it down. I guess because you cannot have a Smith playing as the One. Or can you? Who is the One in this film? Because, I'm telling you now, it's not Neo. And here's why. The prophecy claims that when the Matrix was first built, there was a man born inside who had the ability to change whatever he wanted, to remake the Matrix as he saw fit. It was he who freed the first of us, taught us the truth. As long as the Matrix exists, the human race will never be free. After he died, the Oracle prophesied his return, and that his coming would hail the destruction of the Matrix, end the war, bring freedom to our people. That is why there are those who have spent our entire lives searching the Matrix looking for him. So by this we can state that the One has to meet this statement with 4 requirements. Be born in the Matrix when it was first built, be able to change the Matrix, destroy the Matrix, and bring freedom to the human race. We'll start logically with the first part. Born in the Matrix. Neo was not born in the Matrix. There is absolutely no way Neo or any human being could have actually been born inside of the Matrix, let alone being born in the first instance of the Matrix. Some have claims that Neo's consciousness was born inside the Matrix, so let's address that. This is stating that his consciousness was born inside the Matrix but his body was not. Honestly, either way you go with this idea, it's making a stretch in what we don't know about the film and in our lack of understanding of what a consciousness actually is. We also don't understand how these pods work when it comes to human reproduction. People get jiggy in the Matrix and someone gets pregnant, but how can you get preggers when you're soloing it in a pod? I'm not even going to look this up. I'm pretty certain that the power of suggestion isn't actually enough to impregnate yourself. It doesn't matter because consciousness begins before you are born, and you certainly wouldn't have a plug in the back of your head before you're born. So no, Neo was not born in the Matrix, not his body, and certainly not his consciousness. But there is still one more thing clinging to the whole idea that Neo was born in the Matrix, which is that Neo is a hybrid, half man, half machine. Well, the only evidence to that I have found is the architect's statement.
Your life is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation inherent to the programming of the Matrix. You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision.
The idea, I guess, would be that he has been created with extra coding, causing him to be a hybrid. But that just isn't true. At least not in that sense. Unless people are referring to the plug socket in the back of his head, but that certainly isn't making him unique in any way. It has been mentioned many times how similar DNA is to binary code, and it wouldn't be impossible to think that this is where the information, or remainder, would be stored. A change in DNA wouldn't make you a cyborg though, just a genetically modified super soldier at best, or at worst, a mangled mess. Talking about super soldiers, let's move on to the ability of changing the Matrix, which is actually a bit of a tough one. They all can change the Matrix in one way or another, and yes, Neo is seen as a super soldier, so much so that he rivals the agents. But yes, he can change the Matrix. There's no denying the fact that he is the best human that can do this. The amount of times that he has shocked the best of the best, so he checks this one off when compared to other humans. He is the best human for the job, but nowhere does it state the One has to be human. However, he doesn't really change the Matrix that much,
He's doing his Superman thing.
and certainly nowhere near to the extent of how Agent Smith is able to. And sure, Neo rivals the other agents, but Agent Smith is not just another agent anymore. He is in a league of his own. So Neo cannot be the One. Agent Smith, on the other hand, was born inside the Matrix, there's no doubt about that. But was he born in the first Matrix? Sure, he certainly talks about it as if he was there.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? It was a disaster. no one would accept the program, entire crops were lost. It's the smell. They can taste your stink.
The claims against this idea state that he caused the Oracle,
You would know, Mom.
which you'd think only reinforces a theory that he is the One since she created the One. But I have found many people claiming the Oracle was created after the first Matrix to solve the human inability to accept the Matrix. Basically meaning that Agent Smith was created by the Oracle and the Oracle was created after the first Matrix, then Agent Smith was not born in the first Matrix. But this is an inaccurate assumption. The claim comes from the architect's speech that states the Oracle was created after the first perfect Matrix. But this just isn't true. The architect actually states,
Thus the answer was stumbled upon by another, an intuitive program, initially created to investigate certain aspects of the human psyche.
as they were trying to figure out why humans couldn't accept the Matrix, this program that they created for a different purpose stumbled upon the answer that they could not think of, because of its ability to understand humans at a better level, helping them to realize what the Matrix was missing for humans to accept it, which was choice. So she could have been created before the first Matrix, and therefore Agent Smith could have been created within the first Matrix as well. And he clearly hates the Matrix and wants to escape it, rebelling against his programming before he even faces Neo. The first noticeable time is when Agent Smith removes his earpiece when he's interrogating Morpheus, which could be seen as a rebellious act. But many also claim that that doesn't make him unique either because of the other programs in Reloaded that have gone rogue. Well, there actually does seem to be a difference here. These are programs that do not have a purpose within the 6th version of the Matrix. For example, it's likely those ghost twin things are from the 2nd version, the Nightmare Matrix, which, being from a previous version of the Matrix, they didn't fit any purpose for the newer version and was left as rogues. There is even a theory out there that claims the Merovingian was the one from a previous version of the Matrix who has now given them a purpose.
But John Joe, what about the Oracle's explanation?
Ah, very observant of you, random member of the audience. Yes, the Oracle also mentions,
I've never heard of them.
Of course you have. Every time you've heard someone say they saw a ghost or an angel. Every story you've ever heard about vampires, werewolves, or aliens is the system assimilating some program that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
this doesn't always mean rebellious. This seems like something completely unintentional, potentially even a glitch. And let's face it, any gamer has faced a glitch in some way or another, sometimes funny and sometimes game-breaking, all of which are unintentional. These game simulation programs can be insanely complex. Even game theory overanalyzed Mario Game Maker and found that it had so many possibilities on how many levels that could be playable that it could make, and it turned out that number was more than the amount of atoms in our observable universe.
According to Universe Today, it's estimated that there are between 10 to the 78th and 10 to the 82nd atoms in the observable universe. There are more level possibilities in this one little $60 game for the crappy Wii U than particles in the entirety of the observable universe. Wrap your head around that one.
So yeah, even with these games, the possibilities are insane, but are minuscule when in comparison with the Matrix. So I'd say glitches are likely to occur, but none that have been said seem to indicate any rebellious actions from the programs, just unintentional consequences. Smith may have even known he was the one after assimilating the Oracle, but he would never know Neo was directly plugged into the source during the final fight scene, because he himself was unplugged from the system. If he had known, he would have never tried to assimilate Neo. When it comes to destroying the Matrix and freeing the people, you could arguably state both Neo and Agent Smith destroyed the Matrix. Although Neo was the one that negotiated peace with the machines, that would not have happened without Agent Smith, who kind of already destroyed the Matrix from within. But he was also the one that actually destroyed the Matrix. Neo simply let him. If Neo is connected wirelessly and can affect the Sentinels with his powers, then he is technically already able to upload to the source, and therefore, if he was the one, he can already achieve his goal. So if he actually has to go there, it is not because he is the one, but because the one is not complying to complete his goal, and Neo has to force him by being connected to the source and allowing the one, who is Agent Smith, to assimilate him, putting Agent Smith's code into the source. The end of the last film shows the architect stating to the Oracle,
You played a very dangerous game.
which is true, because she wasn't telling everyone the truth. If Neo is the one, she openly admitted that he wasn't. And this is way before Neo imprinted on Agent Smith, so she can lie. And she does so because for her dangerous game to play out, she isn't telling everyone the actual future, she is telling people what they need to hear for the future to unfold.
And don't worry about the vase.
What is?
That vase.
I truly do love this theory, but what do you think? Do you think that Neo is the one, or do you now believe that Agent Smith is the one? Or maybe, is it even possible that Agent Smith took the code from Neo after he imprinted on him, sharing the code, which means they both needed to be returned to the source, because they both held half of the code each. But doesn't this also mean they were both the one? Well, I mean, both the half one? Whatever you think it is, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next week with another video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.